That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Now that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Let me tell you, damn guys ain't dumb. Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Maybe get a blister on your thumb. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen deliveries. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. Move on, move on. Mama, she got it sticking in the cameraman. We could have some. And he's up there. What's that? Hawaiian noises. He's banging on the bongos like a chimpanzee. Oh, that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Get your money for nothing. Get your chicks for free. We got to install microwave oven, custom kitchen deliveries. We got to move refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. Listen here, now, that ain't working. That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working, that's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. What's that? Look at that, look at that. I don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been. Hanging on the promises and the songs of yesterday, and I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go again. Here I go again.
left. We want to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality. I know your anger, I know your dreams. I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Mussolini and Kennedy, I'm the cult of personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality. Neon lights, Nobel Prize. When a mirror speaks, the reflection lies. You won't have to follow me. Only you can set me free. I said all the things you need to be. I'm the smiling face on your TV. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. I exploit you, still you love me. I tell you one and one makes three. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Joseph Stalin and Gandhi. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. The cult of personality. The cult of personality. Neon lights, Nobel Prize. When a leader speaks, that leader dies. You won't have to follow me. Only you can set you free.
All right, let's do this. Bottom line, let's do it.
Fuck yeah.
You there, Michael? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fucking great. How are you?
I am a doing, and I'm doing it, and I'm doing it well. Somebody be in a good chat. Be a good chat. Let me know. You can hear me in the sun. Son, you're already done working for the night. You're good to go.
Hey, that's old Jericho logic. You either want to, well, it's rock logic, really.
Right.
You either want to go on first or you go on last.
This is true. So, I didn't get to as much time on the rig as I wanted to throughout the week. So I did everything I could to make sure I maxed out time today. So I did a shift. I did a shift today. I wanted to make sure I at least got a video up, maybe two, and then at least one scene. So that's kind of where I'm at in terms of time. A lot of typing because of the delay in the show. I kind of forgot that I had to add a couple finishes to some stuff. So all good in the hood. But yeah, tonight, bottom line, the show that just wouldn't happen is finally happening, and we're gonna move forward. So what I want to do, first off, really, let's just jump right into it. So I did not get anything up versus the Sun, Michael. We really had big plans for this whole, and then when HOSC we knew it was kind of writing on the wall. We kind of pivoted, and then we kept pivoting, and it got to the point where I didn't give the Sun anything, so I wanted to make sure I gave the Sun something tonight. So that is kind of what you read. But before we get to there, the first video I did was a preview. I wanted to kind of play off the first song you heard if you listened to the show was the Dire Straits song, right? I want my MTV like that old school Mad Max, old school
Fuck
classic TV. That was kind of just that kind of a vibe. So that was kind of what I was going through, and just have like the matchups on the screen was kind of the thought. So hopefully you guys dug that a little bit. Pivoted right into, and now this is going to be different. Most HOW pay-per-views have no segments. This one's going to have some segments on it, and that's on purpose because it's all hype for the next pay-per-view, which, because we lost basically 2 weeks with the delay, moving the bottom line back 1 week because of the song you heard earlier, because of the game changer shit that we did. And then me not having net till midweek, we kind of lost 2 weeks there on the calendar. So I wanted to hype it up even more on tonight's show. So we put a period on a couple sentences tonight, and then we put a couple commas and just start some new sentences. So that's what you're going to see. So we got a great opening vignette called Wrath. Check that out. It takes place in the prison. Cliff Notes version. It's really good. And then Mike, well, first off, Mike, any thoughts on the video in that first seg?
Video was dope. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I think you forgot our match, but I might have just missed that while I was looking at all the details in the video. But yeah, the video was good. I think we're like a couple of months.
I did not add our match on purpose.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be a hypocrite. Like, I no-showed, so I shouldn't get a graphic. I don't get a graphic, right? I mean, that fucks you, but, I no-showed, so I don't get a graphic. So that was...
Yeah, nobody ever makes graphics for me, so...
yeah, right. So
not enough Mike Best graphics on the shows.
Yeah.
I don't have Poser open right now for the first time in like 2 months. But yeah, the video was dope. I think we are, because I don't like to just suck your dick.
Yeah, appreciate that.
I think we're like maybe a few months off of really polished videos. I think where you're at right now, you've figured out how to do dope ass videos. Whereas before we were just kind of doing strict template stuff, which looked more polished, but wasn't quite as creative.
Right.
So I think we're like a few months off of those things being smashed together. And a lot of that's on me too, because you're doing these all by yourself. I haven't been, I'm between Coco and moving and divorce and all that shit. Like I haven't been doing a whole lot in the way of like graphics for anything. So, we had a little bit of polish to those. And I mean, they're already the coolest fucking graphics in e-fetting. So I'm splitting hairs, but I know you like the hair splitting.
Yeah, let's be honest, dude. I suck at Photoshop and I suck at all that, but I can get a blueprint in my head and kind of get there. But yeah, once you get going with graphics and some other shit, yeah, they're gonna look really good. I have no doubt. You're not hurting my feelings when you say that. I know I'm horrible at that shit, but I can get it around it. You're right. I can get around it to where it looks decent.
And then from there we get to the first segment of the show. First segment of the show I thought was dope. So debuting is hard. Debuting is always hard, especially, is it? I don't even want to ask.
No, don't go there.
It wasn't even a specific question, but it was already too much. Anyway, so, when you're debuting, especially debuting on a pay-per-view and debuting using like the special location for an upcoming pay-per-view, that's a hard thing to do. In this case specifically, there's definitely a little bit of a spooky boy vibe to it, but I think in a positive way. I kind of dug I'm not usually huge on like extra description, but I think in a debut it makes sense. It really is kind of that show versus tell, even though that's hard to do with words. I thought it was a good segment. I'm definitely engaged to see some more. But obviously it's a sort of vignette style debut, so there's not a lot to deconstruct.
Right. And that's going to be the theme of the night. I'll be honest with you. None of the segments you're going to see tonight are going to be long on purpose. Like Mike just said, they're vignettes. If I could put a video on each one, it'd be better. So I think everybody that typed tonight did well. You're going to see different levels of what people are trying to get through, but there's definitely a theme for the night, and so you'll see how that kind of plays out. So yeah, appreciate the kind words there. Yeah, but yes, I miss you, sir. I need you on the pad. I need you in the rig. There's no doubt about that. So
Well, this is a question I was going to ask you before the show when I sat down at my computer, but I'll just ask you here because I threw it out in the Discord too. Can we confirm, based on the Rumble at the Rock teaser video, that we're getting a Spooky Boy Halloween theme for Rumble at the Rock finally?
I will neither confirm nor deny because you will have an answer before we hang up tonight, sir. There's more coming.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Because
there's
the
more.
only reason I'm asking is because I want to have. Well, see, I wanted to fucking text me because I want to have a Rumble at the Rock banner to end this show.
Okay. I have a video, but I'm all for you watching said
Or-
video and then using that as ammo.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So, obviously from there we pivot off the vignette, right into the live part of the show. And Mike even said it when we were there at the arena. We weren't at this arena, but I mean, anybody that's been in HOW for a minute knows the best arena is based off the Rosemont Horizon Allstate Arena. And any wrestler or anybody you read will tell you that that's got the best. It's one of the top venues for wrestlers just because of the way the sound, the acoustics, it's just loud. And so I wanted to play off that. So you get the definite vibe of my Mike probably reading this is like, okay, I'm back there because I definitely wanted the vibe of what we felt when we were at that show, right? The entrances and whatnot. But I also wanted to be creative. And like I said, I didn't give Mike anything. I didn't give him anything. This could have been so much bigger than it was. And it's the opener of a pay-per-view. That's my pay-per-view in my arena, in whatever, in my sandbox. I did not do well. I shit the bed completely to the point where, again, I didn't give myself any graphics, but there were some definitely scenes I had in mind for it, and I didn't deserve it, so I didn't do it. But Mike deserves something. You did a great promo. Your little love letter to the HOW, that was really good. So I wanted to give you something. So Mike had no clue what was going to happen. He didn't get to see it before anybody else. Nothing. I'm like, matches up. That's all I text him. Matches up. Go peep it out. So thoughts on the match, Mike?
Well, first of all, so Lee and I, when we were talking about whether or not to, have him post a show from work or delay it till Saturday, ultimately, I kind of made the call that it should be Saturday, and I think Lee was leaning that way too, but he decided to put it out to the roster legit.
Yep.
So that went up to vote. But, as we were talking about it, I told him that gives us a week to kind of plan out our match too, because it's sort of by design that we didn't do a lot leading up to the match because it sort of built itself, save room on the shows for other people. And so all of our scheming and planning for the last month and a half hasn't been for what to do for the match. It's been for what to do after.
Right.
So we were going to take this week to sort of book out what we were going to do with the match because we were talking about all kinds of shit, man. There was a possibility of getting both Mike and Lee bottom lined on this show. There was talks, at one point, I called him, prior to going to Chicago with those guys and doing all that shit. And prior to even them confirming Punk, where I just called Lee one day and I was like, dude, what if we just kill Mike Best? Right. It was really up in the air. We were going back and forth. We decided with Punk coming back, I was probably going to love wrestling again. Want to write. So we're just going back and forth. We came up with all kinds of ideas, and slowly this idea started to take shape. And we were all excited about it. I'm still excited about it. But then Lee texts me this afternoon, because what we didn't do at all this week with everything going on is touch base at all about what we were going to do with the match, which is what we were going to do. And then Lee didn't have internet and with everything going on. And I think he probably went dark on me on purpose once he figured out what he was going to do. Because I get a text this afternoon that just says, just trust me. All I'm going to say.
I forgot I texted you that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is maybe an hour before the match goes live. And, the relationship between Lee and I is different than it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, if we had a plan, even fucking 5 years ago, if we had a plan, and then at the last minute, you were going to change it and you were like, just trust me, we might have ended up in an argument, sight unseen. But I was just like, all right, brother. Let's see what happens. I cost-offed him. So the match goes live, and I didn't know any of that was going to happen either. We have this big intro, and then Lee just gets down on his knees and just takes the knee. Not a knee, not Mike Best's finisher, the knee to end all knees. The knees that the knee that appears to, because I legit don't know anything any more than anybody else does, that appears to kill Lee Best. And there is, I'm not going to give any details about it, but a brief piece of booking on the fly that Lee texted me about while I was at the pharmacy earlier in line. He's like, hey, here's some bullet points. Can you do a quick booking on the fly? I was like, yeah, I'm going to get it to when I get home. And there is one sentence in the bullet points that I've been obsessing about all day. And, I can talk about that after the segment goes live. But I think you know what it is.
Yeah, I do.
But it would appear, based on this match alone, that Lee Best is dead. Now, that's happened many times before. I think Lee's died like 8 or 9 times. but holy shit. It's hard to... I don't know how this interacts with what we've been planning. So I'm kind of on the edge of my seat too, but in a positive way. I thought it was a really good match. It was a good payoff. It's also, whether by design or a happy accident, it plays really well into the promo that I did. Because, the plan was always for Lee and I to go. We were going to go hard. The whole reason we booked the match between us was to show everybody that if you're going to break the fourth wall, there's a way to do it.
Yep.
So we were going to face each other and kind of go all out and take 10 years of aggression out on each other in like a fun way. And then I got fucking COVID. And as I was starting to feel better, I was laying in bed and I just started typing promos on my phone. And then I'll be straight up. Then I went to Chicago and fucking hung out with, and I know we'll talk about all that stuff later, but, hung out with Lee, hung out with Eazy-E. And I even bounced a couple lines from my HOFC promo off of him, from my first one. And then it was just such a feel-good experience that I came home from the trip and I was like, even if it is fun, even if it is all just in good fun, I just don't feel like fucking dropping a bunch of cheeky burial shit. I was like, HOW is such a cool fucking place and it's been such a good thing. And like, as I'm writing a promo with COVID-19 and I'm enjoying myself for the first time in 2 weeks, I'm just thinking, man, HOW is the shit. So partially because the trip was awesome and I wanted to pay tribute to what this place is, and partially because I like to work and I'm like, I'm going to write a promo that makes it look like I'm going to die or retire after this match. So for that to turn around and everybody to see Lee doesn't write a promo, I write my swan song, which I even texted Lee. I was like, dude, I'm going to make it sound like this is the end, not just of me, but maybe of HOW.
Right.
And for that match to turn around and be just Lee Best getting kneed into the next dimension is very appropriate. Also, I thought I'd get cute in my one promo and basically say, hey, spoiler alert, I'm a trained wrestler. Lee isn't. I'm going to punch him in the face, knock him out, and that's going to be the match. The reason I did that is because that's actually the finish that we settled on a while back.
It was right.
That Mike Best was just going to punch Lee in the face once, knock his ass out, and that was going to be the match.
Yep.
Boy, not what I expected. Great fucking. I loved that match. That is a top 10 HOW match that I've been a part of. I think for me.
Well, that's cool.
I don't know where it falls yet because I don't know where
Right.
the aftermath goes, but it's definitely in the top 10. And top 10 sounds like it's a wide margin, but you got to remember I've definitely had over 500 matches in HOW. Over 1,000, maybe. I can't remember what we celebrated last year when
It
we
was
did Mike Fest
500.
Appreciation Night.
Yeah,
Was it 500?
Yeah, we did. Well, that's the thing, right? It wasn't. Here's the thing. Everybody knew you were gonna fucking win, right? Unless there was shenanigans, right? So I leaned into that, like the dialogue. It's the commentary. We all know
Well,
he's
yeah,
gonna win. We know he's gonna win, but how are we getting there? What the fuck's happening?
Even if we did a full role play battle of 5 each and we got like Scotty to judge or something, even if you had beaten me, there's just no way that you as a Fed head are going to drop your undefeated HOFC champion with a non-wrestling, basically NPC character, even if it is Lee.
Right.
So yeah, I think everybody knew that somehow there was some kind of, I think most people probably would have expected a swerve.
Right. Well, I think so. I think everybody was waiting for the smoke and mirrors, right? What's going to happen? There's no way Lee is coming out there, but there's a fourth wall is going to play a factor. You know, there's plenty of NPCs. There's plenty of wrestlers from the past. I used plenty when Lee got his ass kicked by Kostoff on the carrier, right? So I knew people were waiting for something. So that's why I made it very clear. First, he came out on his own. He was wearing the 97 red sports jacket from many years ago, right? So it was a callback there. And he came out on his own. And the tapping of the watch was another long-term storyline that's never had a sentence put on the end of it, right? So there was a bunch of little tiebacks before even the ring bell was hit. But for me, there was never a question of once I knew that I could play a little bit, and I knew me and Mike are in a good spot that he would trust me, right? I just ran with it. I was hoping it was one of those where it's just like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I know where it's going. Mike's being legit, by the way. He has no fucking idea. He probably was expecting the punch or something tonight, and that was about it. So, yeah. So I wanted to post that early, get that up there, let everybody see it. Anybody wanted to get at me for the late results and whatever, I'm like, look, I'm just gonna put a lot of work in early in here today and try to make it up to you guys. So that was kind of the point of it. Take something that's obviously you know what's gonna happen, and still make people think like, what the fuck at the end of it. And that I think we accomplished that.
Oh yeah, it got me fucking pumped for the day too. I've been on EFED brain all day because my part of the show was up early.
Right.
And now realistically for you and I, OOC wise, now the fun starts for us with whatever the fuck is going to happen there.
Right.
Because I already knew the fun was coming for us after when I knew the plan, and now that I don't,
right. Which makes it more fun,
dope.
right? Yeah, that's the point.
There were also a few more hints in there that because I know vaguely where this is going still, I think.
Yep.
There's a few little hints in there from Lee that
only for you
that are
for
foreshadowing,
sure.
but I think if you don't know, you won't know.
No, you're right about that.
It was like him telling me, "Don't we?" It was like him wiggling his ear, going, "We're still on track. Don't worry, but this is happening."
Yeah. And again, that's the most fun for me when playing this game, right? Is when everybody knows something's going to happen and you can still get people a little bit. That's the most fun. So, I'm glad it came off well for you because I didn't give you anything leading up to it. So, we'll go from there. I will not play the other video. So the Rumble with the Rock teaser, which will blow our eardrums out right now if I play because I got the volume up. Yes, there's definitely going to be a hard edge to Rumble with the Rock. There's no doubt.
Oh, that video. Yeah, I saw that video already.
Yeah,
okay, that's what you're talking about. That's
no, there's another one. There's another one.
Oh, okay.
But this one set the stage. I know that's why you asked was because of this one. But yes, I'm leaning in hard on this year a little bit. And there's also a reason why the vignettes you're going to read tonight are tied into the theme that we're going to be playing into for Rumble to Rock. And because of the setting, as I feel like has been utilized well for specific matches, as a whole, we've never really taken advantage of Alcatraz prison like we could have. And this year I plan on doing that. So that's kind of where that's going.
Well, it's kind of a conversation that I think might be a little spawned off of being in the United Center too, because while we were getting drunk in the United
by the
Center
bar,
during
the bar talk.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're just like hanging out in the arena and realizing that like we're not properly utilizing any of the scenery. You know, like you have fights backstage, you have fights in the ring, you have fights in the crowd, but like not since the Attitude Era and like Rockin' Mankind fighting in the concession stands and stuff. Nobody's really taking full advantage of the scenery.
Right.
We're walking around the United Center and really putting into perspective how much more of the arena we could be using. So I think that probably got your brain into that same mode with Alcatraz.
I'm not going to argue. It was definitely a setting thing. I'm looking hard at the setting. So if you guys refresh and you guys got to see a little backstage action there, kind of just show you guys what I got to do to air the show. I'll keep you guys from just seeing that the rest of the time. But so here's the next segment. It's Pride. So first we had Wrath, right? Now we got Pride. You're going to start seeing a theme pretty quickly here.
Oh, see, I heard Wrath. Now, next I wanted Glacier, but I'll take it.
I would have been down with that. I'm a little disappointed in myself now. But Pride's the next one. Now this one was literally wrote today because I had to get on Douchebag quite a bit to get it, but he's had a lot going on too. So I'd love to get Easy E on, but I don't think he's very much available tonight, if at all. I know he said he could come on for a little bit, but he's been doing the family thing all day. So if he's listening, he can jump on, shoot me a message. Otherwise, all good in the hood. We'll try to bring him. I want to try to, if I can get him on, I want to save him for Game Changer talk for later. But
Absolutely.
yeah. So this is his segment. So this is Solex in the arena, or Alcatraz, right? So this is one where I got another vignette in Alcatraz in a cell titled Pride, and the number one dad coming through with all the glory there. Cliff Notes version. Then we get into our first roleplay match of the night that actually had some good role plays. Didn't have the no show. Raising my hand here. Xander Azula versus Jetstar. So here's the thing. I promised everybody with the delay that I would get you scenes, I would get you videos, I would get you graphics. I tried to do all that. Not very well, but I tried. So be kind to your fellow human being tonight and just know that I did the best I could. Kudos to all the match writers that got me the stuff early. Because what I did is took the matches, read the matches, obviously, and then used and try to find a different scene in each match, or a different moment, I should say, in each match to make a scene. So that's kind of where this went throughout the night. You'll kind of see the graphics I did do were tied to specific points throughout the night, and hopefully everybody, specifically the people involved, get a kick out of it. I know it only pops basically me, Mike, and a couple other guys that do graphics, and then the people involved, and not everybody else. But if you guys peep them out and you have any thoughts, obviously hit us up. Cliff Note version, yada yada yada, lots of words, more words. You guys can peep it out. I'll get to the graphic. That's the main one. I want everybody to read it. It's a pay-per-view. There's some really big boy match writing, but here's kind of the setup. It's a good spot in the match by Roland, who wrote the match. German suplex spots here coming up. So what I want to do is, haven't seen one of those in a minute, so I wanted to make sure I took a second. And I wanted to test out Jetstar's new outfit. We haven't had real suspenders in HOW in a long time. The other ones were just painted on. Sorry, Easy. They were horrible on Mario and Paul, but whatever. So,
I'd forgotten.
yeah, it's so bad. They're so bad. But, I mean, you only do what you can do with technology. Technology's a lot better now. So I'm not taking any credit here.
D-Force didn't exist.
Yeah, right, exactly. So here's
Can
a
you imagine
second.
what he would have done with
Oh,
D-Force?
dude, I tell him all the time, man. Feel free to get back into it so I can unclock. No problem whatsoever. So the spot here is Jat walks up behind him, hits a German suplex. Jat holds on, a second German suplex, and that's the graphic that you see. Hopefully, Jat, specifically Xander, you're taking a move, but your guy's in there. So it's I think it came off okay. It's all right. Um, there's a couple things in it I hate, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. Um, kudos to again Roland for writing a good match. Um, I think for all the moves, Mike, I got some of E's, and then I got our guy. I got all his, and that's about it, man. You only have to adjust a little bit for Gen 8, not much, man. You got to adjust a little bit here and there, and obviously for the ring with the Y axis. But other than that, man, they still hold up. It still
Oh,
looks
absolutely.
decent, you know. So again, kudos to Xander and Jat. You guys put some really good heat leading up to this match, to the point where we made sure it got on the pay per view. And props to Alex. Again, we were using him as an example leading up to the pay per view. A guy that was literally lowest ranked wrestler in HOW, and he had more heat and he had a better chance of getting the pay per view than half of the other roster. So kudos to Alex. I think I enjoy him in HOW. He's a good guy, and
Oh, hell yeah.
I hope he sticks around for a while. So good match, decent graphic, but kudos to the guys all involved. All right, let me get to the. All right, so again tonight, I I hate segments on pay-per-views, but it was a necessary evil with everything, mainly because of the delays, right? The week pushing it back so we could go to Chicago, and then me losing the week with the internet. So again, that was one of those where I don't like doing it, but we did it, right? So it's like, don't hate on anybody for their segments tonight, because they're supposed to be short. They're supposed to be vignette style. There's not supposed to be some monster whatever. This is kind of just setting the stage, right, for the next pay-per-view arc. So that's kind of the idea there. So let me get the next segment, and we'll get up to the next match. What do you think about Alex so far, though, man? Have you had interacting with him OC wise, or what do you think about
Oh, yeah.
Xander?
Yeah, I've been in a bunch of voice chats with him. I've, talked to him on Discord. Obviously, we've done a couple matches, HOFC with each other.
Yep.
And honestly, I can kind of get a good read on somebody based on having an HOFC match with them. Like, it's a really good shit test for me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, even though we had some kerfuffle in ours, like that's how I can tell that Clay's a good dude.
Right.
Because we went pretty hard at each other.
Yeah, you did. I had to make a poser just for you two. This is true.
Yeah. And Alex, Alex wasn't cut out for HOFC. He really enjoyed it, but just legit, he's just too nice a fucking guy.
Right.
He's too nice a guy to be good at HOFC. You have to be kind of a dickhead. And he's just a very sincere, sweet individual. And so I was saying even then, get this guy back out of HOFC, which is unfortunately how he came in. He came in, walked right into the HOFC tournament. Then he got another HOFC title shot right against me. And, he did fairly well in the tournament. But that is more importantly than the writer, that character could thrive in HOW outside of HOFC. But gimmicks don't work great for HOFC. And he's got a good gimmick, too. So Alex, both as a writer, now that he's actually getting into storytelling, and as a handler, is just a really good fit. He's different from everything else out there. He's reminds me a little bit of a cross between Crow and Rob, which is a weird two people to compare, but those are the ones that I'm going to compare.
I had to pause there for a second. I had to put it together. I'll pick up that vibe, though. I think he is. I think Here's the thing. I just think he needed a good dance partner, and as silly and whatever you think about Jet. Jet is just a good dude that has fun no matter what. And I think that was a good guy for Alex to have, and they did well. And they took
Well, and Alex
nothing
has an
and
old
moved it.
school feel to him too, and
Yeah.
Jet will forever live in that old school.
Oh, for sure.
So they were a good match for each other. Like for better or for worse, whether you love Jetstar or you hate him or your opinion changes weekly, Jet, and I don't mean this in a negative way, Jetstar is the embodiment of 2005. That's what he enjoys. That's what he's going to keep writing. So if you are super into 2005, you are going to love Jetstar. And if you're one of those like we've come further than that, you're probably not going to find Jet funny. But Jet is ridiculously easy to work with.
Yes.
I have never heard Jet say no to anything.
Right.
Like we did an angle where Mike Best stabbed Jetstar's wife in the eye and basically like pen cucked him on TV. And I don't even think Jet ever got his heat back for it. And he was always fine.
Right.
Jet and I have never had a proper program to work together. It just never really worked out. But I've never had a problem with him. He's always we just don't know each other that well.
Right.
Honestly, I think there were some times that we may have rubbed each other the wrong way, but it was usually by association. Like it was just like I heard this about you, you heard this about me. I don't think I've ever really had a conversation with the guy outside of like posting shows when he was sending me stuff and like when he first came back. Hey, how did this work? Was this match okay? But really good dude, awesome dude.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? It's a little bit of everything for everyone, right? And so hopefully, it's again just finding that dance partner. You find a good dance partner, you're gonna have fun. Don't ever say no is my thing. We make fun of it. Just don't say no. At least try. If it don't work out, it don't work out. But you don't know until you try. I mean,
Oh, you want me to put the video game kid over? Is that what you're telling me?
I didn't go there yet. That will come. I don't need a straw right now, so we're good. All right, back to the show. Moving forward. Next vignette, titled "Greed." Um, this one, I had a really good phone conversation with the writer on here, and it's funny. I called a few people to write tonight, right? And I feel decent about my role as Fedhead. That when I called and I presented, like, hey, what do you think about this? Uh, Almost to a person, they're like, man, that's kind of where I was kind of thinking, and I just didn't know. It worked well. So I, again, the people that are going to be writing tonight needed something. I love all my peeps. I love these guys, OC wise. They could flake and go here and there. They always come back because I want them to come back. And I think I made the comment the other day, and I'll say it to her, just don't go dark on me. So I made it a point to make sure that because I knew what I wanted to do for Rome with the Rock in terms of theme wise and the kind of the setting, right? What me and Mike talked about a minute ago. I wanted to make sure specific people got a shot to chew on this story and do what they want with it and kind of run with it. Because again, not only do you need a good dance partner, but some people just need something. It's hard for them to come up with an idea maybe on their own, or they're just not sure. And sometimes you just give it to them and they run and they make it even better than what you were thinking about as a booker or whatever. So that is tonight. Everybody, you see a new character debut. You see Solex doing his thing. He hasn't had a match in a minute, but we all agree that his story is awesome. And now this one, Greed, is playing off somebody that the greed is kind of tied to their character. I think they think their shit doesn't stink too much. They've been greedy. They rely on the past way too much, and they never really move forward. That's not good. That's not a good formula. So talking to this handler is like, hey, what do you think about this? Kudos to them for delivering. And now, as everything in wrestling, what's the follow up? And that's on them, and we'll see how it plays out. But I'm very happy with what is going to be shown tonight to the masses in terms of vignettes, because I actually heard excitement on the other line, but I've heard it before and people shit the bed, so we'll see. But as of this moment, right now, I'm very happy with what you guys are going to read tonight in terms of all these vignettes. And if you don't know the theme by now, I'm sorry. It ain't. It's just going to hit you upside the head at some point, I guess. But again, kudos to the writers.
Oh wait, the pay-per-view. Oh, this is okay. Yep.
See,
I
it
hadn't
just hit
tied
him.
the
It hit it.
segment.
It hit him. It just hit him,
I hadn't
folks.
tied the segment titles into that yet.
Yes.
That's yep.
Yep. Here we go. Now we go. All right, so then that leans into Raw versus High Flyer. So this one, Scott Stevens wrote. Should have proofread it, but I didn't. My bad. HR, get on the phone. Mike, you are the prosecuting attorney if needed. If we gotta call in wrestlers court, we'll have
Yeah,
to do.
Colin's got some extra time off too. We can always bring him in.
Yeah, we can bring him. We gotta do what we gotta do if we have to. So this match, again, like it literally became a thing by booking on the fly on just one night. So kudos to both guys. They took booking on the fly. JD took booking on the fly, involved Ford. Ford added onto his segment. That went over quick. He added another booking on the fly. Next thing you know, they got a pay-per-view match. So that's how easy and quickly it can come across. I view this as like part of the sentence leading into a bigger story. Win or lose in this match, I want to see these two at Rumble with the Rock. I've told them both that. I'm telling everybody that. I don't know how it's going to play out, but the feud has been so good for the Hot Shot week and then the Go Home show and then the RPs. I want to see more. I do. No matter how the win loss comes out on this match, I definitely want to see this continue. So in this match, I picked a moment in the match that, again, because there's 5 matches. I wanted to pick a moment that was different, right? I didn't want everything to look the same, right? I want to show you guys that I put work in today, right? I tried to deliver on my promise. I didn't deliver an A plus shit. I'm a B plus player tonight. I'm a little Daniel Bryan. I'm the Dragon tonight, so that's what you're gonna see tonight. So I'll get down to this scene here. Words, lots of words, more words.
As you're scrolling, I got a preview render right now that might make you come in your pants. I'm gonna sneak it to you on Discord when it's probably like 10%.
I know when Mike is engaged, when he has Poser and Photoshop open. That means that our match did what I wanted it to do, and it got Mike going again. That's all I heard out of that.
Well, I've been ready too. Give me some credit on this one. You had me dark leading up to the match. I was ready to go a few weeks before the pay-per-view.
No, you're right. You're right. You are. I'm the one that shit the bed. There's no doubt about
that. I mean, I still wasn't doing graphics though. Like, don't let me honk my horn too much. I didn't do any fucking graphics either.
All right, so graphic here is it's basically setup is Ra goes over the top rope, follows Harmon to the floor. Ra goes pickup flyer, but Harmon staggers the Sunshine God with an uppercut. As Ra staggers, Harmon sends his opponent crashing into the nearest ring post and ring steps with a drop kick. Basically, I wanted to show a floor thing. The only thing I fucked up, and you guys, now that I say it, you'll see it. And you won't be able to unsee it. Is
it the clown?
No, I love the clown. I actually made him in the middle so you can see him. So that's fine. The Dark Knight guy. Yeah. The Joker.
I hate the crowds, but
I know. And I'm always mean to give you the crowd because they're so easy to edit that you could fucking edit them. And I've been wanting to put like old posers as the crowd.
Speaking of,
we could
to
use
the
them.
left of Hoffman, left and up, the dude with the blue tie looks a lot like I think your Brian McVeigh render. Might not be McVeigh, but it's somebody. So if you follow Hoffman's head to the left, to the first dude in the front row, he looks like somebody's version of a staff member.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah. That looks like that's Eric E. That's Eazy-E's Joe Hoffman. That's what that
is. There it is.
Yeah, that's what that is. Yep, I see him now. But that's so easy to yeah, I know. But anyways, the floor.
Real quick, I just need a yay or nay on this.
Yeah.
I'm sending this to you in Discord. You're gonna love. You've been waiting. I think it still needs a little work.
No, it's good. That's really good.
It looks. I had to do some serious editing to the cranium there
Yeah, I
because
bet.
it was huge.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. No, that looks good, man. That's good. I can't say anymore. I'll give it away. Um. All right. So the scene. Um. The one there's two things I fucked up. The floor. I forgot to change it to black, so you can't tell where the ring. Whatever.
Oh yeah, now you're right. Now I can't unsee
Yeah,
it, and I
yeah,
never would
you
have noticed
can't.
it before.
Yeah. You never would see it. And I hid a bunch of stuff to make render times quicker, and I forgot to unhide Benny's Jack Daniels bottle, the Jack Daniels glass.
Oh, see that's fine. I think that's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, it's one of those, and like the graphics are unhidden on the heads, all that stupid shit. Like only you would notice. But yeah, the floor was the big one on there. So again, not I put the effort in, but I made some silly errors rushing, but hopefully in terms of just the scene, it works. So. Hopefully that works for you guys. And little bottom line graphic on the but it looked better when it was all black. Trust me, it looks so much better. Um, Cliff Note versions, another good match. Again, I'm excited for what's next. Um, and again, I can't say enough how much I appreciate you guys uh, having the patience that you did and being cool about everything that went down. Like, I think everybody was on board pushing it back a week just so we could go to Chicago, and it paid off. The trip was totally worth it, right? The only thing that fucked us was the train ride. We would have had a whore and probably missed our flights and drive. I would have missed the game the next day, but that would have been the only thing that the nightcap would have been a lot better. But the experience was totally worth pushing the paper back a
Well,
week.
yeah, and look,
Let's be honest there.
we were all on board to do that show, 100%, and we were still on like Easy E and I were still.
Yeah. I don't know if we lost Mike or you just fell out, Mike, but we lost you there for a second. Or we still lost you. While we get Mike back, let me get the next vignette and the next match teed up. Alright, let's do this. Carry the one, multiply by pi. Yeah, and again, apologies on the the B plus graphics. It was what it was. But again, it was an outside. It was on the floor. It was one of those type of things, right?
There we go. Sorry, I don't know when I dropped off, but my connection died.
Yeah, you're good. Basically, you were on board for the horror, and then that's when you died. Basically, when you got on the train to talk about it died.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy E and I go down to find some food, but everything's closed. We end up hitting up a vending machine and getting water from the front desk because there's nothing around the hotel anywhere. The hotel's at the airport. Everything is closed. It's 1 a.m., but we're still gung-ho. Let's do this until we get back up to the room. We walk in, and then Lee seems like he almost could go either way now, but we're like, no, the way we're going is bed.
Yeah. It was. So I have motion sickness. I've had it since I was a kid. Really bad. Really bad, right?
You didn't even get drunk, you poor bastard.
I know. I couldn't even drink. I was so fucked up head. Like, so going there was fine. Easy's a cheap bastard, though. Let's just put it out there. The motherfucker's a cheap fuck, right? He will not spend any money, right? So yeah, we had the option, which again, on paper makes perfect sense. But in my head, I'm like, please God, no. I know this train ride's gonna suck because I told him on the way there, even in traffic on the highway, was 100% better than the train ride was gonna be. We still got there a lot sooner because the train ride's horrible. Just there's always delays. It always stops and starts. It's just horrible, right? But it's only $9. It's $3 a person versus like $60 for an Uber.
To be fair, I don't know if you remember what the Ubers cost back from the United Center, but they were $200 at that time.
And that was because of where we were at. So we started to walk to get it cheaper, and then we hit the train. And then we're just like, okay, let's do it. It's $9. So I get it. I get it. But I'm gonna be paying off that credit card bill for many a moon. I was okay with it.
Oh, and
But I
also
died. I
in
died
his
that
in
day.
his defense,
I
every
died.
time he went up to get a round of beers for everybody, I think the beers were like
Oh yeah,
$15
there were
each,
10, but yeah, I'm just.
and we drank a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you
No,
also flew us all out there, so
it's dude. I was just fearing the train ride. The train ride happened. It took long. It had delays, just like we all feared and all knew it was. I got so sick, couldn't hold my head up, and I wasn't even from drinking. It was just straight up motion sickness. And it took me to get to the hotel room, lay down, put a cold towel on my head. I was still spinning. It was bad. So that's why there was no horror that night. We didn't get back to like 1:30. It was just rough. It was rough. So, um, but he's got some great stories. We got some good stories. We'll talk about that later. But um, yeah. So that trip definitely spurred some ideas, or at least gave me confirmation that I should pull the trigger on some stuff. Just sitting there and talking to Mike and E, and you just knew that worst case, Mike was gonna pop, right? And then best case, everybody would get, oh shit, that type of thing. So not only was it worth it for the once in a lifetime experience of what happened in the ring and in the arena, but it's definitely going to pay off for months and months here in HOW. So it was awesome, just straight up awesome. So
oh yeah.
all right, so back to the show. We come off that, we hit another vignette. This one's called Gluttony. Now this one goes one or
And
two
at this
ways.
point, if you're not following
Yeah,
this segment,
yeah. If you're not
I don't know
following
how
along,
you've lasted in HOW
yeah,
all
yeah,
this time.
right. Um, So gluttony. So here's the thing. I set up a couple people. Like I started this theme before the pay-per-view, right? We had Mr. Solex get sent there, right? With all his personalities. He got sent there. Bobby Dean no-showed on me, right? Sent him there, right? Fed him a bunch of yellow dye number 5, right? Which immediately people are thinking, all right, gluttony, that's a Bobby Dean segment. No, 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 no. No. You'll find out more why, but Bobby Dean was never going to be gluttony unless the person that wrote this segment said no to the idea. And then when I talked to him, he was all about it. So I'm glad he said yes because this is right up his alley. And this is another person that has been struggling to
It's
do
a good
anything.
segment.
Yeah, to do anything. And he picked up. It leans in a little bit to real life for him. And gluttony is just not about eating food. Okay, folks. Google it if you have
I'm
to.
I'm so glad. I am so glad that he's gonna roll with this.
I am too. Because my backup was obviously Bobby, right? Obviously. That's the easy layup. No big deal. That's simple bullshit, right? I didn't want it to be simple. This is more personal. It's going to feel more real. This is going to read better. I think it's going to be one of those where I think Scotty can roll with it and lean in a little bit and exercise a little, maybe some demons on himself. But also, I think it's just his content's just going to be a lot better, I think, with a good story. And I think this is a good story for him. Again, the follow up is the question, right? We love what we see here. It's going to be the follow up, like anything. But the gluttony with Scotty, really good. He was excited too. He was all for it. He goes, man, I can do some good stuff with this. All right, let's go. And let's be honest, Run with the Rock is a Scotty thing, right? He loves it. He loves that pay per view.
Yeah, it's the Scotty pay per view in the way
Yeah,
that War Games is yours and
yeah,
March to Glory is kind of mine.
yeah. This is very true. You're here long enough, you you kind of get tied to certain stuff, and that's definitely the Rock says. There's no of course. All right. So next up, we got our first title match. Zion versus Jace Parker Davidson. Zion earned it, right? I gave. What's funny to me, dude? I did. He's one of those guys that he's the little brother, Chat, Darren, all that good stuff. But he always gives the effort. And him and Jace have plenty of history in character and OCY. So this was a really good test to see who would come out on top with more than one role play at stake. So kudos to them for a good RP battle. This was a good one. And I think Jace knew it was going to be good. I think Darren knew it was going to be good. So I was very excited for this one. So the one on this one, again, I will keep from doing too much here, but let me get to the scene here. Again, I try to pick a moment of the match that the match writer put in there that would be a good visual that was different from the rest of the show. So this is a setup. Basically, we got here. Jace's been working on Zion. Zion's on his hands and knees. He slams the mat with his left hand in disbelief. Chase is up. His boot lifted. Bend the knee. Curb stomp. Haven't done a curb stop graphic, so there's your curb stop. What I messed up on here is the lighting in the background for the entrance ramp. You cannot see, vaguely you can see it, but the bottom line is on the HOV. A little bitter that I didn't show that too much, but
I just think, I mean, okay, yeah, so it's not lit up, but I think that one's fine. I think that almost would have, it's a happy accident because yes, it would have looked more realistic, but it would have drawn the eye away from what we need to be looking at, which is the boot in the head.
Yeah, you're right. It was more of like having the little floor lamps, the diagonal, where the idea was be they're going diagonal and Jason's in the middle of them. That's what it looked like in my head.
Those tattoos render pretty dope in a scene like that. They look really realistic.
They do.
I do. Is Jace in here listening? If you're listening, I need you to change the name of your finisher from Unscripted Violence. That's literally a Jon Moxley shirt. And you're doing Seth Rollins' finisher. I've been waiting to call him out for months, and I just keep forgetting.
All right. I was going to say, I at this point, I figured you just tell him it's good to go. All right, so that we get through that match, yada, yada, yada.
And if you looked at it like it was an angle fed too, right? I think that this match needed to be a really good match, but I think it also is a match that Jace needs to win. If you're booking an angle fed. Because he did take a bunch of L's from Zion under dubious circumstances leading up to this with the tag team match and everything. And it's all been building since, 2017 with Zion's spot on the card, not 2017, 2014 or 2015. So if I was booking an angle fed or booking like a real wrestling company, I think I have Jace go over here too, but I definitely have Zion put him to his limit.
No, there's something to that, right? I mean, the triple threat match they had against the Best Alliance, right? And Jace ate the pin because, like you said, circumstances behind the fact. All right, let me get the next one up. You guys will get the theme here, and then I'll get the LSD matchup. A little Brock Lesnar action.
It's funny now that everybody watches, or most people are reading the shows on their phones, that joke doesn't work anymore.
No, I know. But for me, it is. I'm still hitting F5. All right, so next vignette that we come back with is called Envy. So this one, it was another one that I made a phone call on. Like, hey, this guy needs something. Hasn't had anything. Another why that I yell at, don't go dark on me type stuff, right? Like, he needs something. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And with Envy. And he was all about it. Gung-ho for it to the point where I got a segment quick and early from him. So kudos to the guy on this one for this vignette. And again, if you're not getting to the theme of the night in terms of the build up for Rumble the Rock, I can't help you. I'm sorry. I'll give everybody a second to check that one out. But this one's a good one because this one is one that you definitely could see playing out on TV based on his past with the people that he brings up in the segment and what happened when he was gone, right? With friends, quote unquote, and to come back and be kind of just an afterthought, and see how his friend, quote unquote, didn't capitalize on it. I mean, this is good stuff. Again, we'll see how the follow up is, but right now, love it.
If there's anything Giles is good for, it's a great wind up.
I like the segment though. What'd you think about what Dudes wrote?
I'm still catching up on this one as we go.
Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, it's a good seg. It really is. It definitely blurs the lines, and which is what makes the most fun, more real, all that good stuff. So I'm excited to see.
All right, I'm wrapped now. This was really good.
Yeah.
Doozer's another one of those dudes where, like, when he's motivated, good luck.
Yep. World
He
champ.
just
He can
hasn't.
be a world champ, no problem.
Absolutely.
But he's not. But who was? Giles. Say what you will. For that moment, he was world champ. You need him right out of the cage, buddy. Still one of my favorite finishes I ever wrote.
Great finish.
It was so good. All right, so this is the one that 48-hour rule for these two, maybe 24-hour day rule. Whoever loses this match, please, 24 hours, 48 hours. Two guys going at hard in the role plays, so kudos to both. Kudos to Scotty, right in the match. Did a good job. I was able to get a scene for this one as well. I picked a different. Again, I try to make each one look different in terms of moves. They're all in a ring, obviously, and they all got the same shitty crowd that at some point will update. But the graphic here is to set up a spine buster coming out of the corner. So hopefully that's looks presentable and decent because that's what it's supposed to be. And I know this one is one of the ones. All the matches were pretty close. This one I know has some of the most angst behind it in terms of winner or loser.
You know, to a certain degree, I love that though. I love guys who are like
I
it's still
don't
real
hate
to
it.
me
I don't hate
because
it
I'm
at
one of
all.
those.
I don't hate it at all. I just don't mess with me for a little bit. I'm telling you, don't. I understand it and I get it, but don't come at me. One of you was gonna lose. One of you gonna win. Deal with it. You know what I mean? But I'm with you. I'd rather have them care than not care, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm with you 100% on that. No doubt about it. How's the spine buster look though? Let me know.
It looks to me straight up a lot more like a really well rendered atomic drop.
I didn't see that. Yeah, now I see it. Well, there's three phases of it, right? It's the initial pickup, the spin, and then when they plant them. The plant looked bad. I maybe should have spun the angle, right?
Yeah, the angle.
I should have turned the camera.
Is contributing, and also since you wanted to get Clay's face in there,
right.
He's more an atomic drop setup. For a spine buster, you wouldn't see his face as much.
No, that's a good point.
So it's really more like, I think in the end, I might have gone with a different move if you wanted to make sure the dude's face was going to be there.
I know, that's where I struggled with the match, was trying to find something different. Like, there's a power bomb spot, but he looked just like Kostoff, so I didn't want to do that. So, good call out, though. But in terms of Tat looks good on Sector. Kudos to you on that one. That's the original Tat you did. I just updated it to the texture, ran it through the big boy rig.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's old school right there. That looks pretty good on his little Cuban tan. But all right, yada yada yada. I'll see how it plays out, sirs. Let me get the next part up. So now that we kind of know, well, I knew, but now you know the theme for Rumble to Rock and kind of what's going on with the vignettes. What are you thinking about the potential there for the pay-per-view?
Oh,
for these guys, because the guys involved too, right? Let's be honest. They're all, there where they maybe could be this. They haven't done that, but they could have been. Like, I can't give them more of a big boy setting.
Do you cover every single one of them on this
Yes,
show?
yes.
Is the booking on the fly you had me write one of them?
No,
Damn.
no, and you'll know why. You'll find out. I can't tell you everything right now, son.
Well, it's only because I know what
Yeah, yeah,
my
yeah.
potential match looks like, so I'm trying to figure out what to tie it to. But I'm
No.
sure you already got me.
So let me do this one, and then
Oh, never mind. If you don't already have it figured out, I have it figured out. There's two more. There's two more of them that were stricken from the record, and and,
I
and that's
I
one.
I'm not following you right now because I'm editing, but I'm sure we'll be on the same page. All right, then we'll do this. You know what? I'll go all the way up to the main event, which all right.
Yeah,
Do
I
that.
wish I'd gotten a chance to talk to you prior to the show, only because I had. Well, actually, never mind, because I already know what I'm roughly doing for the pay-per-view. So never mind.
I don't think you do, but I appreciate your effort. I'm down for whatever you're thinking, though. All right, so the next vignette, uh, I will have to mess with the formatting. I didn't see that it looked good in the back end. Up front, it looks horrible. So somebody didn't use Google Doc, and I didn't edit it properly. But it's Lust, obviously. So again, another 6 out of 7 sins have been listed. Um, Let me mess with that one real quick while you guys are reading. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to fix that. They used all div tags. I ain't fixing that right now. Way too much editing for me right now. Hurts the reading, it hurts the reading, but Google Docs, friends. Use the Google Docs. But again, this is a good one. This is a good vignette for this handler. And they were very excited to run with this one. So uh, we'll see how it goes. And then we get to the Suns Boogie on the Fly, which I'll leave up. Text me what you're thinking though, son. Let me hear it.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Because I'll book on the fly on a book on the fly if your idea is better than what I'm thinking. I'm all about that. But I will be curious to see if folks pick up on the line that Mike referenced early in the show tonight when he was talking about booking on the fly, where I gave him some bullet points, and there was one very specific bullet point that I think I know what he's referencing that he did put into the booking on the fly segment. Um, we'll see how it plays out.
X has been sent.
Okay. So you are not far off the path, sir. Not at all. But I
Oh,
was
so I still have surprises coming then.
not necessarily tonight per se,
Okay.
because I wasn't going to completely step on toes and ruin anything that might have been booked out 8 months ago.
I gotcha.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm having that discussion right now too, trying to figure out if it would be better to pivot that one more.
Yeah, because I respect everybody in this conversation way too much just to overbook on it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I definitely have ideas, but by no means am I pushing that forward unless I talk to you guys after the fact. I'll just put it out there that way.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll talk post show about
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. But in terms of your segment, I think you did really good. I think the bullet points were there. I think he nailed it. I think you had the mood. I think it was. Here's the thing. What I love about it is there's no Mike Best promo. There's no Mike Best speaking. There's no Mike Best. Um, you know what I mean? On the mic. There's no mic'd up. There doesn't need to be, right? I think you speaking at all or even cutting a promo or any kind of dialogue too much would have taken away from what should have been the mood, the all that. So
Well,
kudos
and
to
it was
you. Less
interesting
is
to me
more.
too
Less is more, I think, on this
because
one.
in trust, like if I read, I will read you guys the bullet points
Okay, yeah, go
that
for it.
Lee
Yep.
sent to me.
Yeah,
I get up for booking on the fly. I said picking up a prescription, then yes. He goes, Mike watching ambulance take Lee away. No sirens on. He's handed the contract Lee signed. Mike signs on the bottom line. That's the bullet points. And that's exactly what the segment is. There's not like there's more description.
right.
Um, but also remember, I'm flying by the seat of my pants on this too. I'm basing this all off of a text message that says, "Trust me." So,
Yeah, that's so true.
like, common sense to me said that there's no promo in here, but also, just for mood purposes,
Yeah.
it didn't seem like a good time to say anything. But also, I don't know where it's going yet, and I probably will 5 minutes after the horror is off air. But because I don't, it was impossible to cut a promo because if Mike and Lee have planned a swerve and I'm not aware of it yet, then that's one thing. If Lee is dead, it's weird to cut a promo. If Lee isn't dead, it's weird to cut a like I didn't know what to do other than do exactly what the bullet point said, which I think made for a good segment because the handler was just as confused about what was going on as the character would have been. So Mike Best needs his dad. His dad might be dead. That's all he knows. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he knows more than that. I don't know.
That's good. Good stuff. Less is
But
more. It came across well. You did a good job. Kudos.
also just got a message on Discord from old Cecilworth Farthington that says, currently dying at my favorite part of the segment is no Mike Best promo. Where he says he understands the context, but that it's a funny line.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely. All right, so that leads us into the last vignette for Rumble the Rock, kind of like a hype, if you will. Um, and then I want to debut a video. I was going to have it in the results, but I'm actually just going to air it, so I want to get some live reaction to it. Again, not my best work, folks, but I put in effort today. Gosh darn it. But here's the last vignette, Sloth. So this one pivots, and this is another great chat I had with this handler, and this is Bobby Dean. This is his, and this is one where we talked about like, hey, the easy one. Everybody's gonna think Bobby was gluttony, feed.
Bobby is all the sins.
Yeah, well, technically he is correct, but the sloth one is like, look, he did everything he could to get in shape, and he still shit the bed, right? He never capitalized on his opportunity. The last thing he did was no show, right? So what's Lee do? Punishes him, sends him to the Rock, puts him in a cell, and just feeds him. You know what? The one good thing that's in your life right now, Bobby, is that you're actually in shape. You did such good work, did all that stuff just to get yourself in shape, where, the insecurities and all that extra layers that you could put onto it, it's gone. Lee just took it all away and punished you, fed you yellow dye number 5, stripped you literally and figuratively. And that's kind of where it went. But his number one sin is, what have you done for me lately? And that's nothing. He is the one that's had the most potential. I think I've done 5 really good storylines with him. I think Mike
Can
spent
can we
20
talk about
hours of storylines with this numbnut.
can we
And
talk about this just because it's not now like it's too late now, the moment passed for that to work and
yeah, go
people
for
need
it.
to know what this fucking story was. So
So,
Lee and
but tie
Bobby
it
and
all
I,
together to Sloth, though. That is why he has this sin, is what Mike's about to tell you, and of what I kind of just said. And to the handler's credit, Robert, he owns it, always has, but doesn't make it right. But he did a really good job
also to
tonight.
his credit, he did hit me up twice about when we were going to do it, and it wasn't quite time to pull the trigger. So I think that thing happened where you're waiting for a trigger to get pulled,
Right.
and then the
No,
moment sort of
it's
passes for you.
it's not like he
Mm,
doesn't put in. It just it always happens with Bobby. So in character, this is his sin, Sloth.
yeah.
And
So Lee and I have been trying to make 6 Time Academy happen like Fetch from Mean Girls. And it's just not going to happen no matter how much we try. We have come up with so many ways to make 6 Time part of HOW. We were going to try to do something with Stevens. It didn't pan out. We tried to do something with Hollywood, but equal parts my fault and Hollywood's fault. That didn't quite work out. And then we came to the idea that it was time to turn Bobby Dean back into beautiful Bobby Dean. Um, And the way he was going to do that was basically he was going to show up at 6 Time Academy with a check and enroll as a student so that Mike Best could get him back into shape. And this was at the launch of HOFC, so it was going to make sense because what it was going to do was take every one of my HOFC camp guys and make them a different trainer for Bobby. So his nutrition specialist was going to be Durango, who was going to beat the fuck out of him every time he ate a cheeseburger. His style consultant was going to be Gino Giordano, who taught him how to be the man again. Alex Beckman was going to be like his sparring partner and like his cardio guy or cardio chick, whatever. Um, and then you'd have Mike Best literally just taking like 10% of Bobby's checks every week. And he'd be living right there at the academy and all this. And we were going to slowly build Bobby up back into like, because I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, beautiful Bobby Dean is really just, it's, you know, we all ripped something off initially and built from it. Bobby more than some, he even looked like old school long hair Ric Flair. Well, now Bobby's getting older. So Lee and I one day are just spitballing about how now it could be time for him to be old Goober Flair. So we were going to put him back in the powder blue suit and everything. And he was going to have to earn all that stuff. So he was going to get a new finisher, a new submission finisher from Beckman. And he was going to get the blue suit back from Gino. And then the cherry on top of all of it, if you remember, is Mike Best was going to give him back the best around, which is Bobby Dean's theme music that Mike Best actually stole years and years ago. I got it from Bobby in a different Fed. And then by the time he came back to HOW, it was my theme, or when he came to HOW for the first time, it was my theme music. So he couldn't have it because it was already taken. So Mike Best was going to gift him back that theme music once he earned it. And by the time it was done, meanwhile, Bobby'd be feuding with the whole Best Alliance. And by the end, he would end up being a heel. And he'd probably be super over. And then instead, none of that ever happened because sloth.
Sloth. And again, if Scotty doesn't agree, to do gluttony for his drinking, that's the easy one. It's the layup, right? It's no big deal. But I really think in something me and Bobby talked about, there's so many more layers to the why he is what he is, and he can lean into some stuff. So again, it's giving everybody that had a vignette tonight, all 7 of them so far, right? All 7 of them have had either ups and downs in HOW or had nothing. We had a new character, so that gave them something right off the top. I mean, everybody's, right there. Like, they all needed something. So I went all in on these guys, pun intended, right? And so we'll see. I fully anticipate maybe not all 7 of them are going to follow up, right, and make it the badass pay-per-view that it could be with these guys. Because here's the thinking. All 7 deadly sins that you read about tonight, right? All each tied to a handler. These 7 are in a match at Rumble the Rock. That's your multi-person match.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's your booking. These 7 are gonna go, and they're gonna fight each other at the pay-per-view. What's on the line? Can't tell you yet, but that's the multi-person match. In the past, we've had it for the world title. We've had it for this. We've had it for that. This is something for all these guys. They have a story right off the top. Week 1 of a new. They have it happening on a pay-per-view before the pay-per-view arc starts that they're going to be booked at. The idea being after the pay-per-view, like they're all been punished. They're not on this pay-per-view. They're all in the cell. They're all going to get released, right? Can't have everybody flying in and out, having matches, all that. But these are the 7 that are going to be tied for better or worse heading into Rumble the Rock. And they have to own, and they have their theme. They have their sin to play into. And how they play it, they can lean into it. They can embrace it. They can be scared of it. They can deny it. So many ways to do it. I'm very interested to see how 7 different people handle 7 different things. So, and because each one's different, it should make for good reading. You know, styles make fights, and I think if even 5 out of the 7 do a good job, this is going to be a good match. I really do. I feel like all 7 have history a little bit. Even with the new character, won't be hard to bring Wrath into play, right? That's just, you read that segment, you know that guy's going to be good. So, thoughts on that theme for the night, Mike, with the 7 deadly sins?
I think that's awesome because you got a whole thing tying the pay-per-view together from the beginning, and it only books 1 match for the show.
Right. Exactly.
So we aren't already filling up our pay-per-view plate before the show's even over. There's still plenty of room for other stuff, but we've already got a solid theme for the show.
Correct. And that is the main thing right there. We have a theme for the show, right? All right. So let me do this. Let me add another media source, and you guys will get a world premiere. Again, this is B+. I get it, but be nice to your fellow human beings. That's all I got to say on that one. Let me load it up. Mike, I don't think I've shown you this.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
All right. Good. Rumble the Rock. This is a Rumble the Rock little thing. Little something I did. We got the little teaser earlier, right? Let's open this one. Go here. I don't know if you hear the audio.
I can't see or hear.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Let me do this then.
No, I was just on I forgot that we're a few seconds behind the stream.
Let me know if you hear audio. Let me know if you hear the audio.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Oh, great song choice.
Yeah, buddy.
One of the best fuck songs of all time. Oh, this is dope. Then I also had to hear us talking. But oh, that was very dope.
So when I'll upload it and everything, but you'll see, like, I really like the Scotty part, the bottle liquor. The only 2 I didn't put in the video is because I didn't have time to finish the poster, and that was the new character, with her, obviously, and do the law, right? But easy, I didn't put him in here. The highlight. There's more to come, but I just wanted to give a little video.
That's maybe my favorite video we've had.
Yeah? I mean,
yeah.
It took the longest, I'll tell you that. There's no No doubt about that. Um, but yeah,
I don't
so
love that it's HOTV instead of the HOW logo.
I know, but I keep trying because at some point in my life, we will capitalize on the Hot TV website. So I feel like every time I have an opportunity at a pay per view to remind people that it's out there, I do. But I know what you're saying. It should be HOW with a little trademark. It should be.
Is that the theme song for the pay per view?
Yes, it is.
Oh God, fucking perfect circle.
Yes, it is.
That's
Yeah, and
count bodies like
it
feet to the rhythm of the war drums.
yeah, it was actually a theme for Rumble like long time ago. And I'm bringing it back because we've never. So here's the thing. Yes, this is going to be a horror movie. This is going to be scary. This is. I don't want Solix's stuff to be comedy. I don't want that. Right? We talked about that. This whole thing is supposed to be like these guys wake up, they're in cells. It's like Saw. It's Seven. What's in the box? It's all that. It's going to be scary. I want it to be a horror. I want it. I've got ideas for videos, graphics, which I'm going to need Mike to help pull off because I have ideas that I won't be able to pull off, um, all that stuff. So I am very excited for, and I hope these guys capitalize on it. I know real life will happen, whatever, but these guys all have something to play off of, and I hope they do because um, I think it's going to be good. I really do. I'm being optimistic that it's going to be good. And it's a video that doesn't have what? Eric in it, Mike, or Lee, right? Let's make sure the guys that do all the graphics, who I made sure everybody that, was in that, I purposely left Eric out of it, right? So hope you guys liked it. More to come, but that was one where I went, I went pseudo black and white just to hide a lot of it because everybody's posers with the skin and it looked shitty, like in color. So I cheated, went black and white a little bit.
I think it worked anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that takes us, and we're up to the main event. So here's where I need to take a break. I'm gonna end this part of the show just so the recording stops and everybody can watch up to here. Um, about 10 minutes into this, I realized that I didn't add the finish to the match because Colin couldn't finish it when he thought we were airing it a week ago. I know what I'm doing, so it won't take me long. But I also just need to take a quick break. So what we'll do, we'll end this part of the show. I'll post the main event. We'll come back live. We'll talk about said main event and a little something afterwards. And hopefully we'll get Mike and Eric on. We'll talk about our night in Chicago, seeing CM Punk come back, the religious experience that it was. No BS. That's once in a lifetime pop, and everything that led up to that moment. I mean, we were in it, man. We were in it, folks. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what's going to happen here with Rumble with Rock and all that stuff. But for now, um, hopping offline, I'll finish the match. It won't take long, promise you. He wrote almost 4,000 words. It just needs an ending that I already know what I'm going to do and a quick little scene that I'm going to render. So all good in the hood. It won't take long, trust me. This ain't going to be one of those pay-per-views where we go all night. I'm thinking by 10:30 Central, so about 40 minutes, we'll be good to go. So, Mike, you want to say anything about the show so far before we hop off?
No, this is a great show so far.
Segment heavy, right, for a pay per view, but I think it pays off, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And I definitely would like to see us figure out a way that we could kind of do this all day pay per view thing going forward too.
I like it. I really do. Even if it's just like putting a third of it up or, I mean, kind of like how we did tonight. I think and obviously, if you do it right, like what you did with booking on the fly, not just, it could be anybody, right? You could always do something like that. And especially because pay per view, there's more words, let's be honest, right? With the matches, it's bigger matches. It needs more time. So I'm with you. I like it. I like the format we did today, but um, kudos to all the match writers. Everybody did really, really good. And like what I'm about to do, I'm just pivoting and off Colin did an amazing job with the main event. I'm just adding just maybe 100, 200 words tops to the finish. That's all I'm doing. So it won't take long, folks. All right, Mike, that's all you got. Let's take a break. We'll be back. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, and we will be right back here in